Hello, everyone. How are you? I trust that you are feeling you're happy, living you're happy. Or if you're not living it fully, um, at least the willingness to live that. The Course talks about that happiness is our inheritance and happiness is our function. So that is the new natural, and that's the new way that we can start and begin to live. I will be sharing with you today one of the videos that's going to be a series of videos that will be out this week. I will be sharing the 4 steps to happiness, the 4 steps to living the life of your dreams. You can also say it's the 4 steps on how to listen to your inner wisdom. It all goes together. These 4 steps really help with these key things in life. And the first step is the one I'm going to go over today, which is big willingness. I can't go over all of them in a video, so I'll be doing short videos this week covering the 4 steps. And this first step it came from the inspiration of A Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles says all you need is a little bit of willingness and miracles happen. I like to say big willingness, big freaking willingness, because this life, as you know, this experience of duality is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I feel for me, I needed to just say big willingness because it brought me into more expansiveness. And the word big, what it did for me is help me to no longer compromise or make exceptions. A lot of people ask me, Maria, how are you living the life of your dreams? You know, how, you're married, you have a child now, I desire to be a mother. How were you able to create that for yourself? How were you able to create a beautiful spiritual connection, marriage with someone? And a lot of people don't know that I did the work. A lot of people don't know that I really began to walk my talk and started to live my spiritual principles. This is why my book, Live Your Happy, is called Live Your Happy, because it's literally you live the principles of the Course in Miracles and the ones found in my book fully without exception. And that takes what I like to say in Espanol, and I'm sure German would appreciate this, cojones. It really takes cojones to have big willingness and to really want to change. And we first have to get really honest about it. Because I find with my clients that I coach, also around the world when I do my workshops, I find this over and over. And what I see is that we need to get honest about the change, if we really want to change or not. As I feel a lot of us say we want to change, we want to, we do workshops or we read all these books. We even take these huge coaching programs that cost thousands of dollars, and we want to change and we want to live our purpose. And I've come to realize you want to change, but not really. And that's what you want to get honest about. And that's what happened to me. And I'll share a short story and I'll wrap it up. And this will give you an example of what I'm talking about. One day I came home from a talk and I was thinking about this guy that I was dating after this talk I gave, this powerful talk at Unity of Burbank. And this gentleman had told me that he wasn't relationship material and that he wasn't interested in having a relationship. And I was thinking about him and I was trying to just think of a way that I can get him to come over to have some pasta, a nice dinner I was making, and how I can convince him to be with me. That brought me into a major healing of where I was, when we get to that point, guys, that we are so desperate and we're on our knees and like, please, God, I want change. That's what happened to me. I got on my knees and I sort of like downloaded and I got the inspiration of creating the seven-step fearless process, which is found in my book, of where I did this process for 7 days and I had to go back in time and forgive the men in my life. One of them being my father, which committed suicide when I was 3 months old. And I had no idea I had grievances with him, and I did. I went back in time and I felt the emotions of the story that I made about him and the abandonment. And then I went into connection with spirit and had spirit share with me what's really real, what's really true in this relationship. And it was amazing, the insights I got from spirit. And not only from the relationship with my father, but all the men in my life. Within that process, I remember crying and supplicating to spirit that I really wanted change, that I wanted to live the life of my dreams, that I no longer wanted to feel like I'm not worthy of relationships, that I no longer wanted to get stressed out when I'm dating someone and not knowing what to text or what to even talk about, or and just get anxiety when I was dating, not feeling worthy of my relationships. I was like, I really, really, really want to have changed, spirit. And the insights I got from Holy Spirit was the following. No, you don't. You don't want to change. And I was like, ooh, what do you mean I don't want to change? What do you mean? Of course I want to change. I'm crying every day. I'm going back and healing these relationships. So what do you mean that I don't want to change? And it was the most beautiful insights I've ever received, because it's the first time I was really honest with myself. And I started to see how I was compromising and making exceptions in my life with my spiritual practice. I was a self-help junkie. I was a self-help desperation because I wasn't living anything. I would say I am love on a Monday, and then on Friday, I'll be on a date looking for my love outside of me. I would say I'm abundance, and then I would worry about my bank account. So what I realized is that I had to get really real, that I was scared to change, that I was scared to live my greatness, that I didn't know what that looked like. And I had to get really honest that, yeah, I said I want to change, but not really, because I still wanted to compromise. I still wanted to not take responsibility for things. And I still wanted to be a victim of my circumstances. So when I got really real about that, and I got honest, that it was when everything changed for me. Because then I was started to live my happy. Because then that barrier, that blind spot went away, and I started to have big willingness. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to settle anymore. I'm going to have big willingness, and I'm going to take responsibility for my perceptions, for my life. I'm not going to no longer tolerate the part of my mind that's loveless, the part of my mind that's fearful, those fearful thoughts. I'm no longer going to tolerate that chatter. I'm going to stop it whenever I remember. I'm going to change the way that I move in this world. And I'm going to forgive, even if I don't want to forgive sometimes. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be radically honest and authentic. And that's when things started to get really good. And it was hard at the same time. It was hard to go back in time and forgive all my relationships. It was hard to let go of needing to have a man in my life, of needing and wanting to be a mother in this lifetime. I had to let go of wanting these things or thinking that they're complete me so that I can be free. And yes, ultimately I did attract these things into my life. Like I created an amazing, brought into myself an amazing relationship with Christian. And I now this year I became a mother. But I had to let go of wanting these things, or making, or not wanting them, but expecting them to fill me, or for them to have to happen, versus of I'm open and willing for God's will to be done. I don't know if it's the highest and best for me to get married in this lifetime. I don't know if it's the highest and best for me to be a mother, but I have that desire, but I give it to you, God. I have big willingness to just get out of my own way and allow Spirit to move in through me and to create through me, taking my hand out of it, not making things happen, not making things matter. I began to have big willingness. Again, a lot of people ask me, Maria, how did you become the love of your life? By having that willingness, by not compromising, by no longer making exceptions. And I know I'm going on and on with the same message, but that's really it. So that is step one of living your happy, of living a life that is fearless, of living the life of your dreams, is that you have to really want it. And you have to see where are the barriers that within you, those exceptions and those things that the compromising that you're doing with the teachings that is holding you back. When I mean compromising is that you want to, you know, live the life of your dreams, but you still want to hold on to resentments, or you still want to be in a relationship or create relationships or be in relationships that are not honoring your worth, that are not honoring your self-worth. You have to be willing to say no more to those relationships. You have to be willing to say no more to the chatter in your mind making you believe that you're not good enough, you know, or making you believe that your diseased body or what the doctor says is true, that you don't have cells in your body that aren't working. When you could just pull back and remember that there's other cells in your body that are working perfectly well, right? To really start to go in and really get in alignment to what's really true. So I invite you for this next day to just practice it. Practice having big willingness. Practice really giving it your all and saying, listen, I have big willingness to trust and to get out of my own way and to stop looking for things outside to fill me. All right, everyone. It was a joy to be able to share this first step with you, big willingness. It's actually here on this cute little bookmark that my husband made us when we do workshops.